Greetings and salutations. It is another episode of the Geek Out. Wait a minute. It's a crossover.
It is a crossover.
It's a crossover.
Brandon's joining you on the Geek Out.
Yep, Brandon's joining me on the Geek Out.
Dropping things on the table.
And now things are just falling off the table. It's like even the table is in shock that we're doing a crossover episode. So this really isn't a Geek Out episode, but this really isn't a Reel Pundits episode. We're combining both of this week's shows into one longer show just because there was things that I was going to talk about that Brandon wanted to talk about. And there are some things that I wanted to talk about on the Reel Pundits that, well, is worthy of honestly talking about right now. So yeah. I say that, why don't we just get into this? Normally, Geek Out, pushing the positivity of the geek culture in movies. But somebody brought something up to my attention that even I can't be positive about.
Marvel.
Yeah.
What are you doing, bro?
Is that it? That's it?
Yeah, that's the only question I have to ask. What are you doing?
I mean, well, look at what's happened. I mean, first, I was kind of okay with the whole Iron Fist canceling because I could see things going up to a certain point. And I'm supposed to be getting on to this.
Iron Fist and Luke Cage, I am completely okay with them. And I'm not okay with them canceling, but I get it. The logical course of action. You can only take those two character solo stories so far before
you do Heroes for Hire, which is where my positive as far as Geek Out would be is it's time to go ahead. Let's give us the mashup that we've all been waiting for. See, this is where I get into something
they canceled them off of numbers.
They cancel them off of numbers, but there's also a benefit for this. With the whole streaming thing that's coming up, drum roll please, yes, DC just opened up their streaming. So what is Marvel doing? Going, especially since now that you have Disney, who is blatantly saying, we are doing streaming soon. They originally told Netflix, you will have these Marvel properties until we are far along with it, and then we'll move everything over. And now, because of these two, they're actually going to stop.
Oh, yeah.
Where we're going with as far as Netflix Marvels. So there's going to be a place for these. And I'm hoping...
If they go into their other properties. But see, here's why I believe Disney won't.
Oh, you see Disney won't. Okay.
I'm going specifically based off of numbers.
Okay.
If you canceled two series because they were not... They didn't produce the numbers you wanted them to, the views, right?
Right.
Why would you give those two characters their own series if they're not strong enough individually?
Because you can do things combined. What the biggest problem with Iron Fist, Immortal Iron Fist, doesn't have the same pull as Luke Cage. Luke Cage pulled views. And that's just not me as speaking as a fanboy. Luke Cage pulled views. So now that you have these views coming up, you have Danny Rand's story, which really just isn't making the pull that it could be. You do Heroes for Hire. You now have...
I'm not going to disagree with that, but...
Because then you get back into their comic book standings.
And this is a big if.
Okay.
If Disney does that, then I will eat my hat. You know, like I will eat
old school eat my hat.
Yeah. But I don't see it happening because yes, Luke Cage pulled views.
Yeah.
But you're seeing it all over the message boards, man. People have fatigue.
They may have fatigue with it, but the one saving grace in the Marvel universe right now has been the Netflix series.
Right.
They've been putting
Daredevil.
Punisher.
Punisher was weak, man.
Oh, Punisher was amazing.
It was not.
Remember, I'll
this
give
is
you the
positivity.
reminder.
Yeah,
this is the Geek Out, so positivity. So
all right, so
it wasn't to your.
The Punisher wasn't to my standing. It was okay as far as a television show goes. It was better than the movies.
I think this representation of the Punisher has been the best since the Thomas Jane.
It was better than the Thomas Jane. It was better than the Thomas Jane, but that's not saying a whole lot. You know, I like my Punisher like
the comic,
like the comics. I like my Punisher Max.
Yeah.
I like my Punisher. I like my the Ultimate Universe Punisher.
And you got that with the Netflix series, which is the reason why you compared to.
I got Max, but I didn't get the Max story. I mean, I kind of did.
You kind of got
Kitchen Irish, but they went a little bit sideways there. But I got Kitchen Irish in Daredevil.
Yeah.
Season 2. So okay, I could accept it.
That's what I said. But this version of Punisher, I was waiting to see them do a season 2, but the problem with a season 2 Punisher is you have to start bringing in certain villains, which is where I'm going to bring up my counter. Not counter. It's more of agreeing with you. If Disney takes on doing the Heroes for Hire, we run into the same problem I was having with the Defenders. If you remove the Hand as a main villain, you now have to come up with villains that are worthy of the Heroes for Hire fighting in Hell's Kitchen.
And I'm down for that if you want to just use Fisk. You can make him the main antagonist.
And he keeps on throwing different people at them. Yeah,
you can use him as your. You can use him as your basically your track to railroad them other villains.
Right.
Which I'm because that's basically how it mostly goes anyway. Sometimes.
Right. But then eventually you end up with the problem of what else is around Hell's Kitchen. You start seeing Spider-Man villains showing up with and dealing with the Heroes for Hire. All the beeline villains.
See, and this is the problem that Marvel has.
Thank you.
Separating their movie universe from now. Granted, the TV universe has acknowledged the movie universe,
which I thought was done really well.
That was great. I mean, it was good to see them intermix it, but you have yet to have the TV interact with the movie.
Right.
Or with the movie interact with the TV. Now, what would have made it better? Tom Holland just randomly shows up out of nowhere.
That's the same problem.
Doesn't have to be the Spider-Man suit. It could just be Tom Holland's there.
He's just walking by.
Danny.
Or gives props to Luke Cage. He's like, hey, man, I love your stuff. I'm watching you on YouTube. And just walks by. So it's some random kid that Luke Cage is like,
exactly, not
thanks,
really
kid.
knowing who he is. But actually, right now, it couldn't happen anyways. He's disappeared. And see, that's the one thing I want to see. Maybe that's why they canceled the series. Maybe they have also succumbed to Thanos' finger snap.
There you go. Thank you. Spitting something to some positivity. I'm impressed.
I can go with that.
I'm impressed with that.
Now,
uh-oh.
Let's get into the part of the concerning part of the Marvel news.
Okay, go ahead.
The cancellation of the release date of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which I saw the writing on the wall.
We kind of all knew that was coming.
Went against when Batista sided with James Gunn, and then they were like, okay, we'll get another director.
A lot of the actors were really kind of up in arms about that one. So, I mean, I was expecting some type of a backlash.
Yeah,
not this.
For me, I don't know what move Disney's going to do as far, because you're not, unless you're going to rehire James Gunn and bring back Dave Bautista and all of the original actors, you're not going to make a successful. And James Gunn, he's already on DC doing Suicide Squad 2.
Right.
Which is going to be awesome. Why is it going to be awesome? Because it's James Gunn.
Still, he has to play the game. He has to play DC games. So no matter how you may put this, him playing DC games may change things a little bit. So I'm waiting to see how things progress with him playing DC games. I know how DC really wants to try to push their direction on stories. I'm waiting to see exactly how Suicide Squad 2 is going to work. And it not being a Harlequin show. That's my other big problem that we have going on right now.
Well, see, the cool thing about that is, if DC's smart, since they're removing Harlequin and putting her in not Birds of Prey. Is it Birds of Prey?
Yes, Birds of Prey.
They're putting her in Birds of Prey. So what DC can do is do the other characters in Suicide Squad. You can take out Deadshot and you can take out Harlequin. Yes, they're important characters.
You're going to have Deadshot. Deadshot is now, it may not be Will Smith, but Deadshot is a staple within the squad.
That will kill that franchise immediately.
Why?
Not having Will Smith as Deadshot?
Oh, yeah, that will. That will.
Yeah,
that's
not
almost
having Will Smith as Deadshot.
And you almost have to have Margot Robbie come back as Harlequin.
Yeah, you can't. DC is doing this whole like shake-up thing with changing. I can get behind the Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
That's a separate movie.
Here's why I can get behind it. Because you have you don't know what time frame this was set in.
They're saying there's not a crossover. Those two Jokers are two different Jokers.
Why?
Because
it's
part of the new narrative.
You still have an explanation to give from the haha jokes on you thing.
This is a different Joker.
We're off the topic of Marvel anyway.
Yeah, we're off the topic of Marvel, just casually talking about DC, still within this in the arena, man. Hey, look, this first half is mine.
I am all about Jared Leto's Joker. I'm sorry.
There's nothing to be sorry about. It's
different
Joker.
I can get behind the Joaquin Phoenix Joker as long as you can prove to me that's Jason Todd pretending to be the Joker.
That's what I'm waiting for.
That's the thing because that's the thing I know, which is why I can get behind.
I think fans. I think that's what like hardcore comic fans are like. Okay, we're waiting for the official announcement that yes, at one time this was
Robin.
Right.
And that's what I'm. That as soon as I saw him with the tattoos, I'm like, okay, I know what this is. I'm good. And yeah, sure, it may not be the Joker everybody wants. Everybody wants another Heath Ledger or a Jack Nicholson
or Mark Hamill.
Yeah. Well, they want Mark Hamill's voice.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't care what's going on the screen as long as it's Mark Hamill's voice. I'm pretty good.
Which would be a weird dub over.
I would accept it.
I don't think it wouldn't work as well. Jared Leto did.
You say it won't work as well. There's on YouTube. They were I don't know what con that was at. They had Mark Hamill do the "Why So Serious" as his version of the Joker. It would have fit.
Yeah, but see, you had a little more. You had a different mannerisms with Jared Leto's Joker. The breathing was very Jack
thug.
Nicholson, and then you had the cross really between Jack Nicholson and it was like that hybrid moment between the Jack Nicholson, because you had that breathing, and then you had the chaos of the Heath Ledger Joker.
I had no problem with it. I would like to see them expand the story more.
Well, I'd like to see them do a Joker Harley Quinn like just solo movie. Like that's what I'd want to see, and I wouldn't want to see it as okay. This is them versus everybody else. I want to see him against Batman, but I want to see, I want to see.
Yeah, but who's Batman?
See, that's the problem. You've got
because right now, Jon Snow is in the running for Batman.
Oh man,
yeah.
Did you hear about the Bond?
Is it the dream that we've all been waiting for?
It's Rob Stark.
Really?
The guy that played Rob Stark is in the runnings for Bond, from what I read.
Higher than Idris Elba.
Yeah, I wish that would. I mean, you got a lot of the fanboys, which I am a Bond fanboy.
Uh-huh.
I am a huge Bond fanboy. And no, Sean Connery was not the best Bond. Roger Moore was the best Bond.
Well, that's the end of the Geek Out. So it was been.
No, I would love to see Elba. Because a lot of the hardcore fans are like, oh, we don't need a black Bond. Who cares? I don't care what color Bond is.
No.
I just want to see a good Bond. Daniel Craig was an okay Bond. Better than Pierce Brosnan, but an okay Bond.
See, I say for the time period that the Bond fit the time period.
I
like the fact that Daniel Craig's went real gritty.
Well, yeah, because he was becoming Bond.
Right.
He was not the Bond we all know.
And I had no problem with that. Give me
I'm not talking about the way the actor did.
You just didn't like the stories that followed after?
I didn't like the actor.
Huh?
The Bond portrayal was fine.
Okay.
Any other actor could have portrayed it probably better. I just don't like Daniel Craig.
But
it's a step up from Pierce Brosnan.
But you think that the entire series is still move forward, bringing back the positivity? Because I'm going to keep you out of it.
No, we're not getting negative here. Like I said, a lot of the Elba would be a better choice than Daniel Craig would have been. Elba, really, I can't think of another person that could do a Bond rendition better than Elba.
I honestly can't. I was going through and trying to think of
maybe the guy that played, like, if you want to stick to blonde-haired white boy, the guy that played Jaime Lannister, but he's not British. He's like Swiss.
Close enough.
Nope. Nope.
Well, I mean, we have to go through and see. We'll have to. Where we got far off.
Jon Snow being Batman, though, I don't like it.
You know what? Once the cowl's on, that's what's going to have to prove.
I'm not looking at that. See, because this is my problem. I've been alive long enough to see Batman remade a bunch with a bunch of different actors playing him, and with the cowl on, okay, anybody can be Batman. No, but my problem is not.
It's the portrayal Batman of how he's going to be playing Batman. You know, he can do forceful and dark. He's Jon Snow.
I don't want brooding. I mean, I get brooding, but I don't want depressed.
I don't think he'll be depressed, but he's definitely going to...
Jon Snow's depressed all the time.
Because Jon Snow knows nothing. There's a problem.
Yeah, but I need my Batman to know everything, not nothing. No, but okay, so here's my issue with that. Here's my issue. My problem has never been how they played Batman, except George Clooney. That was the worst Batman. Nobody else really... It didn't really matter as soon as they had the Batman cowl on. My problem is how they portray Bruce Wayne.
Oh, I think he can pull that off. I think he's perfectly fine to play that part.
I think there are better choices.
All right, if I was to make a complaint, my only complaint is his English accent going to be better than it was in Silent Hill? That
Is his English accent going to be better than Charlie Hunnam's during Sons of Anarchy?
in the beginning it was really rough.
Yeah. No, but it was really rough towards the end too.
There was a bridge period where he almost sounded American.
So or right before in season 2, he started sounding American. Then they went to Ireland and it all got screwed up. But no, so my.
But you want to see back to what we were saying is Harlequin Joker versus
any Batman, or really you can have it against Gotham PD.
Well, here's my problem. I don't want DC movies to turn into the Margot Robbie show, because we already have her trailing over into
if it's Margot Robbie playing Harlequin and Birds of Prey.
It is. She's also helping produce.
When did she get producer status?
Because she's putting money into it.
I mean, I get it, but when did she? I don't care.
So she's involved in this deep. So I'm waiting to see exactly where DC goes, because it's great that you're doing another Suicide Squad, but you can't put together a Justice League?
Of course they can't put together a Justice League. They had their Justice League was focused solely around 4 people that they're changing up every 10 seconds. The only one I haven't heard they're changing up is Jason Momoa.
And then Gal Gadot is staying. Ezra, I forgot his name, they're supposed to be doing his Flash movie, but that got pushed back for Fantastic Beast. So that's going to be on hold for a little while.
See, and there's what they need to do. Warner Brothers needs to just step off the comic book game, focus on Harry Potter.
This upcoming movie there isn't a ballpark that it's not going to hit it out of. I think that's going to be one of the December movie.
They do that well. Crimes of Grimhold.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
I'm looking forward to it.
That's going to knock it out of the park. Why?
Yes, but
it's in the
look
Harry
at all the
Potter
other
universe.
movies that are coming out during that time period. It's going to be basically in the world of geekdom. It's going to be Harry Potter versus Aquaman.
Warner Brothers is killing it.
Uh-huh. Warner Brothers is...
This is the Warner Brothers Christmas.
Warner Brothers Christmas.
The only thing they can make it better is if the Animaniacs break out of that tower.
No, because they also have Into the Spider-Verse.
I want to see another Animaniacs.
I'm waiting for that too. I can get into that in another... you have to take a listen on another one, because there is a whole Animaniacs thing coming up. Yeah, it comes down to... I want to see exactly what happens as far as these movies that are coming out and where they're going and how far they're going to go through and push them. I think DC has a formula they could follow, but I also think everyone's waiting to see what's going to happen with Hellboy. Before we talk about fatigue, is it just brand fatigue, or is it something bigger than that? And I think that something bigger is going to be changed when next year Hellboy comes out. It's going to be Ron Perlman less, but I think they're going to do a really good job.
See, and you're looking at Hellboy like a comic book film, which it is, but that's not how...
How you see it? Is this how we're going to transfer over into the next topic?
No, actually, I'm going to stick this to the Geek Out here.
Okay.
This is going to be all positivity.
Yeah.
That's one of the films I'm finally excited for.
Into the horror topics we were going to talk about.
Oh, no. That is an upcoming film, but I'll skip that on my list of movies to complain about. Because that was the only one I wasn't going to complain about. Well, one of two. But
except for Mila.
Hellboy was a fantastic film. It took me a minute to kind of get over it's not going to have Ron Perlman in it, but I'm fine with it because they're going to go a little on the darker side.
Going back to the comic books.
Yeah, they're going to go more towards the graphic novel.
The graphic novels, excuse me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're losing the Guillermo del Toro fantasy elements
and cool
going straight back into demon on demon fighting.
And I'm cool with that. So you're looking at it, and rightfully so, as the adaptation from graphic novel to film.
Yes.
Average moviegoer is going to know they've seen Hellboy and Hellboy 2: The Golden Army, and this is a remake. So
I never even look at... To be 100% honest, never even thought about that. I was strictly going, we're getting...
This is in the film world. This is what we call a reboot.
A reboot.
Yeah. So the average moviegoer is going to look at it like that.
Yeah.
So you can't. So that's going to make money regardless.
Right.
But if you listen to the chatter online, and you look at what the internet says, most people are just done with comic book films. They want to see what happens with Avengers 4.
I think a lot of it comes down to maybe brand fatigue, but not comic book movies, because
Well, yeah.
there's so many. There's other comics.
If you
that
bring out the Darkness and Witchblade,
Thank you.
and obscure things that most people would have
bring
no
out
idea as a
Top
comic
Cow
book,
stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, heck, Disney can bust out some of their Star Wars stuff and just do a legacy movie series.
Talking about that.
Is that a thing?
Oh, since you
Legacy
don't,
is a
since you're
thing?
not Legacy, but The Mandalorian and all the different directors they have working on The Mandalorian.
Oh, wait, are we getting a Revan movie?
No,
Oh.
not exactly.
Oh.
But they're now also
Are
saying
we
that
going to do a Malachor 5 film?
no, but you're getting closer. They're doing a Mandalorian, a random Mandalorian story, but it's going to have so many different directors. Waitiki is involved with doing an episode.
Oh, you're talking a series.
Yes, that's the big series
Are
they're
we going to
pushing.
build up to the destruction of Malachor 5?
I think this is past that.
Well, that's stupid. The Mandalorians were mostly dead.
Mostly, and so that's going to be the other part of this story.
So
and
we're getting a
big.
Revan film.
When that happens, I will be the first person, and I will interrupt a Real Pundits episode to straight up go into Revan Lives.
Because there are a few things I want Disney to touch on since they own the product. I want them to do a Revan film, and I want them to do a Bane film or series. I would love to see.
Both of those are considered as in current movie canon due to the things that were brought up in Rebels.
Yep.
That Revan exist.
And so does Bane.
Yep.
Yep. I know. I'm more than excited about this because when Disney bought it and they said, okay, all the books are no longer valid. I'm like, oh, I had read numerous times Drew Karpyshyan's trilogy.
Right.
And by the way, if you guys out there listening don't know who Drew Karpyshyan, the author, is, not only did he write the best 3 Star Wars books ever, he also
That's your opinion.
wrote some really good Mass Effect novels.
Timothy Zahn.
Nope.
Well, that's your opinion. You can say dope all you want to, but on this Geek Out stuff,
Darth Bane was the best trilogy in the series.
that's your opinion.
It is.
And that's all I'm going to say. That's your opinion. Mine is Timothy Zahn wrote the best trilogy.
Now, the one thing I'm still really depressed about with the Star Wars universe, we're never going to see the Yuzong Vong in film.
I would...
That's New Jedi Order stuff, and that's already been screwed up.
Yes, but that does not mean that the Uzong Vong cannot exist.
I know, but if they're not going
To go New Jedi Order versus
New Jedi Order, you
Uzong
have no
Vong.
reason to get into the Yuzong Vong, and unless they
And
get a
100%
writer-director, unless they find a writer-director that has written one of those books who is now into film going, I got this.
We don't know, because, I mean, after we get through a certain point with where we're going, we're going to have to start off with, what other bad guys do we have?
Malik, Treya,
You can
Scion.
You can bring up tons of these people, but they're not going to go with that.
You can go visit Korriban with the First Empire.
You could also bring in somebody with blue skin.
You could.
He's already canon now, again.
But my point with Star Wars is that they didn't have to go this route. I'm sorry, I'm getting into it again.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
No, but there's so much. There is so much to get into with Star Wars.
There's a lot of stuff. They have an opportunity with the ending of Episode 9 to really look at the world. And I like the whole fact of the Disney series. You get to try out a couple of different directors. And out of those directors, we all know that they're basically using this as a proving ground to go,
you get a Star Wars movie.
you get a Star Wars movie. Because Dave Filoni gets to do the first episode. So I'm already amped up about it.
Mandalorian?
Uh-huh. Dave Filoni might be headlining this whole situation. And if he's headlining, at least
If they're
executive
doing a
producing.
Mandalorian film post Mandalorian War and post the destruction of Malachor 5, if Revan is not spoken about in the series has failed.
No. Because there's a point where you can't talk about it. Because if they actually pull off a Revan movie, you're going to need a little bit of, let's give some space, let's not prep this up too much. You're going to need to go through and go, here's the start of Revan, and then answer some solid questions with Revan. You can't play this whole game of, hey, one director's going one way, another director's going another way. Because right now we're playing a game. If we're going to get into some Star Wars real quick, right now we have to play the J.J. Abrams, what are you going to do? Is episode 9 going to be the movie that brings everybody back together? Or is this the movie that everyone's going to say the Skywalker trilogy is now complete? Let us move on. Because now they have this property, and Disney has to do something with this property. They put a lot of money into it.
And they've gotten their money back.
Yes.
Realistically, they don't have to do anything with it.
Yes, they do.
They can keep making cartoons.
They could.
Never do another film. And the fans would be happier that way.
Yes, we would be. But it's the whole thing of how many of us are going to jump on streaming until... It's kind of like the DC streaming. You jump on, you do it for a week, you go, yay, I tried it. And then you go away from it, which is the reason why I'm avoiding some of your DC talk, because I really want to get into Titans, but I'm going to wait, get a couple more episodes into it, and then go make my decision. But so far, it's interesting in a very unique way.
I like that your tiptoe positivity about without saying it sucks.
I don't think it sucks. I think it's just different than what I was expecting. And I'm okay with a little bit of different. I just want to see where they're going with it. I'm willing to give a lot of things more than one episode or more than one movie if you have a story that you're trying to tell. And with streaming now, you get a chance to do your entire story. So I'm not stuck with 2 hours. And
if I had my dream,
okay,
like if I could make a wish and have Disney, and Warner Brothers just make the movies or shows that I'd like.
Okay.
I would have them go towards Old Republic Star Wars and make a series. Because there's nothing, and I don't understand why they didn't look at the numbers and see the success of a game that turned into a fairly successful at first MMO, a potential WoW killer, if you will, until people played it and they're like, meh, wow. But still, the hype of it was enough to make people
and story.
Jump. And
the story
of
even
you
now,
have so much Old Republic. So I don't want them to do a cartoon. I want them to do a live action. But that's you don't have to touch Revan. You should, but you don't have to. You don't have to touch Bane. You should, but
you have a plethora of untouched story that can be
and stuff you've already made canon. Because if you made Revan canon,
or
you made Old Republic canon.
Or just float canon. Because I think what we need right now is not, let's see the Revan movie. Let's just have an Old Republic story where everybody's on equal footing. I'm telling this story. We begin.
Yeah. And then you can have that lead into a Revan movie. Or you can have Revan in the series as part of the arcs.
Or Revan just as a passerby, or something that's even talked about. I just want to see them...
Well, there's a period of years where Revan's disappeared anyway.
Right.
A couple of times.
So I want to see what I want to see what Disney's going to do in the future.
And if I had my wish with Warner Brothers,
what's your wish with Warner Brothers?
They would not get rid of Henry Cavill.
That's good. Continue wishing.
Well, that's the same thing with them doing an Old Republic series. I'm pretty sure I'm be wishing that till I'm dead.
You have a higher chance on the Revan series than you would on Henry Cavill.
And make Man of Steel 2.
I think I can fall behind that.
I don't want to see Batman versus Superman. I don't even really care about the Justice League. I want to, because I'm sorry, I had given up on Superman films. We wouldn't be having this conversation. I wouldn't have cared about Batfleck. Because Nolan did it, man. And Nolan made a great Batman trilogy, and I was happy.
Yes, right? But I could not see that Batman working with the Justice League.
No, that Batman was fine. But see,
Batfleck worked as the
DC's worst mistake they made was trying to do the Justice League, because it looks you're late to the party and you're trying to you're late to the party and you're trying to rush it. What should have happened? The logical progression should have been Superman, Batman. If you're gonna do Batfleck, do Batman, right? Superman, Batman,
the Batman, Superman,
the Batman, or Superman, or the Man of Steel, the Batman, Superman, because you could have just gone, or Man of Steel 2. And then go into the Batman versus Joker. And then you have your crossover Batman v Superman.
I don't think we should even have a Batman v Superman. If we're going to get into
it shouldn't have been a V.
It shouldn't have been a V. It should have been Superman's getting into a situation. He doesn't have the detective skills.
You could have done the same storyline without the versus portion. You should have had Lex Luthor trying to make it happen,
and then
like Batman being smart enough normally to figure it, because I have some problems with Batman v Superman, and we'll get into them on a Reel Pundits episode.
Yeah, thank
negativity.
you.
But you could have had the whole thing happen, and bam, without the V portion, without the verses, just Batman figures it out, Superman figures it out. Now they have to prove that Lex Luthor's doing this thing, and they have to go, and then don't have the death of Superman this early. That's so.
I think that was so.
And then the next film, he's back because you put him you used a mother box. Like, come on, man, go further before you break out all your toys to just be like, look, we're better than Marvel because we've got this. Marvel did it, man. Just move on.
Well, right now DC's ahead on the whole streaming thing, and the stuff they're putting out on the streaming is worthy of pulling in people. The animated stuff is going to pull numbers.
DC's always done better animated stuff.
Right, and that's what their Young Justice is coming back. 2019, if you were in Young Justice, we've watched 1, you watched 2. Now we finally get our season 3 that we've been waiting for some years.
Are we getting Shaquille O'Neal back for Steel?
No. It's on there, though. It's on DC streaming.
Is it?
Oh, it'll be on there.
You know what else should be?
Huh?
Kazam. No, kidding.
Okay, now you're just being silly. But either way, that was the Geek Out for this week. I'm not even going to pause and going, okay, here's the Reel Pundits music right here. Bam. Okay, now we're done with that. And do your thing, man.
Welcome to the Reel Pundits podcast. I'm Brandon.
And this is Alex.
And today we just had a Geek Out. And
yeah,
we're going to get into some horror talk, keeping with the theme of October. So before we get into our review this week.
Yes, because there's some things to talk about. A good fight that we had this week.
So mad.
Had a good fight this week. I'm impressed that that one went the way it went.
So let's talk about some up-and-coming horror films that are coming in 2019.
So Hellboy? I forgot we already did that.
Hellboy. I'm excited. It's the one I'm excited for.
Okay.
Well, the one of 2 that I'm excited for. I'm also excited for Godzilla King of Monsters.
That's not even a question for me of whether or not I'm excited. I'm amped up for it. But
I know the Happy Birthday, Death Day, Happy Death Day to you.
Yeah. Oh man, trailer.
Here's what we're gonna skip that because I'm not sure how I felt about the first one. But here's the ones I'm angry about.
Oh, anger.
Yeah.
You can now get out all your anger because you've been holding
3 from Hell. 3 from Hell. Who greenlit something from Rob Zombie again? Who did it?
When he's backing his own self, he can greenlit anything he wants.
Yeah,
because
remember,
he just got done with 32. What was it? The
42, the 37, the 28, whatever number of crap film it was.
He got that out.
Yeah.
It went direct to Redbox. And so he's putting on his own stuff. I'm going to sit there and say, if it's his own product, okay, let's see what he's going to do.
But seriously, how many more films of starring his wife do we need to watch?
And friends.
Wife and friends.
Wife and friends, because he has this.
And this is 3 from Hell. This is Baby. This is Otis. This is Captain Spaulding. And I thought Captain Spaulding was dead. The guy that played him.
I don't know how that's going to work.
I mean, you might be doing a different set with just Otis and Baby, which is fine. You want to bring Tiny back from House of 1,000? I don't care.
I don't know how they're going to do it. I haven't even...
I'm probably not going to watch it, so I don't care. My point is, who greenlit it? If he greenlit it himself...
Is that sure who's greenlit it for this month?
No.
Oh, that's not sure.
No. I'm building this up.
Okay.
Annabelle 3. Annabelle 2 sucked. Did we just do The Nun? Why are we still doing The Conjuring? Why?
I didn't know they actually did a 2.
Who greenlit that? Let's go with World War Z 2.
You can't get too angry about that.
I can and I will.
This is on the building up.
I thought Brad Pitt beat him with all his diseases he injected into himself. Why are they doing a 2?
Because there's a whole bunch more story that's still left that hasn't been told.
Okay.
They burned through the World War Z book.
I know they did, but now they got the other part. And it's whatever. They didn't do it right the first time. We already know how I feel about Pet Sematary.
Oh, you don't want to you don't want to get into that?
Let's get into the one that I'm most upset about. So a few years back, this movie came out starring an obscure indie film actor and an established actor, and Emma, whatever her name is, Emma Stone.
Okay.
And that's Zombieland.
Yeah.
And that movie was terrible.
Oh, this is the movie that has you hyped.
That movie was terrible. Terrible. IBS dude should have died with the fatties.
Okay.
Right? You're sitting at you have IBS, which means any level of stress makes you go to the bathroom. You're spending most of your time in the bathroom in the zombie apocalypse. You're pretty stressed out. You're not really doing much fighting zombies off in close quarters like that. You're sickly. You're sickly and you're weak. You shouldn't have survived as long as you did. But hey, anybody can get lucky. So here we are. He meets Tallahassee. Okay, I can get behind Tallahassee. He likes to kill zombies. And then you find out some backstory. You're like, oh, zombies ate his son. That's why he's killing zombies with passion. I get it. But logically, if you're that torn up about your kid, you're putting a bullet in your head. You're not going to start. You're going to take some revenge out of the one who did it.
I'm waiting for you to get done venting so I could actually...
Emma Stone? Seriously? She's just slightly above Kristen Stewart in acting level.
Wow.
And then
talk about burns, man.
The positive in that film was the young one. She seemed like a really good actress. Like she's got a future ahead of her. But now she's doing the sequel to Zombieland 2. Why? Why not move on with your life to better films? Why? Who greenlit this? Who said, "Hey, folks, let's have another Zombieland"?
Because
it made money.
There's a huge fan base for the silliness of what Zombieland was. So
yeah,
to recapture,
they all watched Shaun of the Dead, and it was better.
And they all want another Zombieland. There is a huge fan base.
They did a series that failed too. After they did the movie, they did a series that failed. Why? Because Zombieland was cute once.
Well, they're going to bring something new to the table. And before
zombies. That's the plot. Super zombies.
And as you continue on, I'm going to break
Left 4 Dead. We're going to go Left 4 Dead. The zombies. You know, we're going to have the bloated ones. We're going to go, the screamers, the witch, the whole thing. Which, you know what? That would be an awesome zombie film. A Left 4 Dead film.
I think I could get behind that.
Filmed just like Hardcore Henry. So you keep switching to each person's first person since the game's in first person.
Yeah.
So you have your 4.
Yeah.
And you just keep switching to their point of view.
I don't even have to see it in like Hardcore Henry mode. I just want to sit there and see people respond to like, the screamer and the bloated one. And by the way, I just want to correct one thing that you did say. Sid Haig is still alive, by the way.
See, I thought he was dead.
No, man.
Oh, good. 3 from Hell's going to start the original.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to make sure that we got that corrected.
Hey, everybody. That's how important Sid Haig is to me. No, he's actually awesome. I love that actor. I didn't... And to be honest with you, as far as House of a Thousand Corpses go, and Devil's Rejects, and actually Devil's Rejects wasn't bad for a 70s grindhouse film.
For grindhouse, I don't have a problem with Rob Zombie. I have a
problem. I had a problem with House of a Thousand Corpses. It was the lamest attempt at slasher I've ever seen.
It was so cheesy grindhouse. I had no problem.
But it wasn't marketed as grindhouse. It was marketed as the scariest, goriest movie. Now,
yes,
granted,
you should have known
somewhere. There is a cut somewhere because he was told to reshoot scenes like 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
There is a cut somewhere with what Rob Zombie initially had in mind, and you know what? I saw Halloween. That's what the director's cut.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Rob Zombie initially had in mind.
Mm-hmm.
I could do without the director's cut of House of a Thousand. I saw Lords of Salem. That was all Rob Zombie. Nobody made him reshoot anything. I feel like somebody should have just fired him from his own film and reshot the whole thing. Better. Because it sucked.
In other words, what you're saying is you don't want to deal with Rob Zombie anymore.
No. I quit liking Rob Zombie's music when he left White Zombie.
His own band.
Yeah. He left his own band to go to another band entitled after himself. And then he starts making movies, and they were crap too.
And see, while you say crap, I say that he's at least pushing the forward grindhouse. I want to comment about something that you just said. He's the violentest movie ever made. How many grindhouse movies, like classic grindhouse movies, are supposed to be the bloodiest, the most violent, the this, the that?
Was it only released in theaters after midnight on specific nights, or was it mass released? House of a Thousand Corpses was mass released.
Was it?
Question. Oh yeah.
Okay, because I can't remember.
You know what that makes it? A mainstream film, not a grindhouse film.
Oh wow, you at the place. What time of day your movie comes out?
Films can only be shown when the kids aren't coming into the theater.
Yeah, but times have drastically changed.
Oh, yeah.
Heck, when I was watching Halloween this week, there was a kid in the freaking place.
When we went to go see the movie cleverly titled Grindhouse, there was kids in the theater. I am... Look, I'm not disputing this. I'm just saying Rob Zombie sucks as a director.
Yes, but he is also pushing a genre forward, and I'd rather see...
You want to push a Grindhouse forward? Cool. Go to Netflix. Watch any of those Grindhouse films, because those are at least better.
They're traditional.
And people try harder. Rob Zombie's not trying very hard. He's being artistic and edgy and weird, and that's what we get. But
I want to see
I don't
beyond...
want to talk about Rob Zombie anymore. I want to complain about Zombieland 2.
I thought you were done with
Oh,
Zombieland
no.
2. How is there more for you to talk about when you haven't even seen the movie yet?
Because
Not that you're going to go see the movie to get past that whole point.
I'm not, but who greenlit it? Why?
Because somebody saw money?
Well, I get that.
That's all. If you want to get downright to it, this is 100% a money grab.
All of these films are a money grab. Minus...
All right, well, let's go through the list real quick. One more time again. I want to see which ones. Pet Sematary.
Annabelle 3.
Yeah, money grab, 100%.
It 2.
Continuing of a story. As much as I know you want to put it in there as a money grab, I'm gonna fight you.
2.
Finishing a story because they did not tell all of. No, they
finished
didn't.
all I wanted to see Brad Pitt tell.
Oh man.
And I don't even hate Brad Pitt.
No, but you just hated World War Z.
I did.
Yeah, and I'm saying I'm not going to call it out until you tell all of the story. There is more to that book than what they put out in that hour and a half.
Yeah.
So let's tell the story.
Speaking of telling a story.
Okay.
Let's segue into the story told in front of our eyes.
I thought you were going on about Zombieland 2,
No,
man.
I wanna move
You're
on.
done now?
I'm done.
You done?
I'm happy now.
Oh, you're happy now? Have you contained all of that through an entire Geek Out? Nice, man. Nice. Anyways, so you want to talk about Halloween, huh?
I don't want to spoil it, though.
All right.
I'd really like to not be those people. Because I'm already seeing on YouTube people spoiling it. And I don't want to be those people.
Okay. All right. Let's...
We can... Look, there are people that are going to wait till it's in a Dolly theater. There are people that are going to wait till it's on Redbox.
True.
And I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
But I do want to push people to go see it.
No,
so
that's fine.
I'll compromise
that's fine.
with you there.
You can do that.
All right.
You can do that.
Yeah.
No, okay. So I'm going to kick off my portion of the review first. Because I'm going to get the negative out of the way. And then I can counter your negative very easily.
I know.
And that's why I'm saying I'm getting the negative out of the way.
Okay.
Because I have positives.
Okay.
I'm going to start my negative, and then when I get in the positive, then...
Without spoiling it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is going to be fun.
My negative
sit here and watch.
is literally 3 things.
Okay.
The first one is misplaced comedy.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can guess your ones. Misplaced comedy, an adjustment of a story that you know and love.
No.
No, that didn't bother you?
No.
What do you think? Other things that you were that bothered by? Tonal shifts?
I think I understand why they did it. It's for a newer audience, but that's feeds into the newer audience is what feeds into my issues, Blumhouse and their need for millennial undertones.
Now, wait a minute now. Before you say anything negative, I'm not contractually obligated to sit there and hold up Blumhouse, but I am holding up Blumhouse, so watch your mouth.
No, man,
I thought they
need these millennial undertones.
Give me your 3. Give me your 3. Give me your 3.
Here's my big negative. I'll give you my big negative because you spilled one already.
Okay.
My big negative was the end. That's my big negative. I did not like the end of the film.
Okay.
Things I did like.
Okay.
Things I did like. That little boy that was being babysat. He's awesome.
Okay.
I like him.
Okay. What did you think of the story this time? Get past your ending.
Okay,
just tell me what you thought of the story as it was.
It was toned so very much like the original. It's like they listened to the last 3 podcasts we had with Adam,
right?
And they heard me complain about jump scares and said, "We're gonna give this crazy guy exactly what he wants."
Jump scares that had no jump.
Exactly.
I loved it. I thought it was
they built suspense. They didn't do the stupid ambiance leading up to a jump scare and then have the boyfriend behind. There's a scene, because I could talk about this without spoiling it, where Laurie's paying homage to the original as her granddaughter sitting in school.
Yeah.
I love that scene.
I thought they did a lot of those and did them well.
I love the character arc of the daughter.
I love the character arc of a lot of the characters. They did a really...
I did not like the character arc of Lori.
I loved it.
I
Here's my reasoning, and I'm gonna get into this without giving up anything in the movie, because this gets into something that we've been seeing a lot in movies. There have been so many movies out recently where in which you have a character who is your heroine. She is the main super person who's going to handle this entire thing. And there is absolutely no reason or way that this person at, let's just say, at 18 can fight zombies, scale a wall, can mountain climb, fly a plane, drive fast, build a bomb, and still make cookies at home. And they're the best cookies that the entire town has ever seen. A lot of the characters you see coming out right now have no background on why they can do all these things that they do. And this has nothing to do with spoiling. This movie gave us, okay, something happened when you were 18, and you've been waiting for 40 years to get your revenge.
Yep.
I'm sorry for I don't want to say the first time ever, but the first time in a long time, I go, nope, I understand. So she did this. Okay, I understand. Now, did she have a good family life? No, her family life was horrible, but she was ready to do what she's been waiting to do for 40 years. And this movie at least showed it. And it showed why her daughter understands. Her mom has been psychologically dealing with one thing for 40 years. I'm perfectly fine with it. Lori, I'm perfectly fine.
All they did was switch a son for a daughter and alcoholism for survivalist instincts. That's what they did. That's the difference between H2O and this.
Yes.
And that, to be honest,
to me,
is that's...
To have a better H2O, if you want to even put it up like that, to have a better H2O or H4O, if we're going to go that right, if we're going to go there, I'm okay with that. Because for once, people got involved. Blumhouse had their part, but original content creators got involved and said, hey, if we were to do this, let's do this, not right per se, but better.
No, okay.
And then a lot of the kills were, without even giving anything up, were classic kills.
Oh yeah, no, most kills happened off screen.
And to me,
I appreciate what they did.
And so
the callback.
And to put it in today's society, you have to pay a little, as you called it, a Blumhouse
homage
gore.
To millennials.
Yeah, fine. But this movie was made for classic horror fans, which is one of the reasons.
There were some unnecessary scenes that didn't need to happen.
Unnecessary, but for what we're dealing with nowadays in the grand scheme of even in horror, which is the reason why you and I, as soon as the movie was over with, we had this in-depth conversation, more of a battle, that we actually had to agree on what our score was going to be, because I see your points. I understand your points. But after beginning the garbage that we have beginning, minus Happy Death Day, and Upgrade, and Get Out. But that's besides the point. Blumhouse. The new Orion? That'd be a good episode name. Anyways.
No, probably.
Without the curse. Without the curse.
Makes awesome films and then all of a sudden goes bankrupt.
Yeah, let's not go to that. Not without the curse. I'm just saying, for once, they gave me something I wanted to see.
I'm going to give you that, man. Like, my hat goes off to them. They gave me a horror film that I wanted to see.
And they gave enough homage to the new generation to pull them into, this is what's happening. While I was watching the movie, there was a scene in the movie, and you could audibly feel the people around me, especially one guy going, what's taking so long? And I'm like, this is what you're waiting for, is what I've been living as far as my version of horror. It's not going to happen jump scare after jump scare after jump scare, someone getting mutilated. No, you're going to get slow burn. And when was the last time we had a slow burn movie in the world of horror? Or even suspense horror, psychological horror. Pick one. I don't care.
Hold on.
Continue thinking. So you want me to end out the show while you're thinking. So.
Hold on. No.
You got one? Slow burn. Within the past 5 years.
Oh, no.
Thank you.
Okay, because I was going to go back to...
We can go backwards. I can go back for a while, and I can find you movies that have slow burns.
We can go... I mean, even The Ring had a slow burn.
Yeah. But in the past 5 years?
No.
No one's been playing that game, and so hopefully this will lead into a new era of of horror,
Yeah.
or at least a new avenue that you can take it. I think we're still going to be dealing with nonstop jump scares. Happy Death Day 2, I know, is going to be jump scares and silliness. I'm okay with that. I'm going into the door expecting that. But some of the problems you had tonally, I agree with. That's what knocked down my score. There was a scene of comedy that was going, okay, wasted dialogue, which I'm going somewhere with this. I don't think Danny did too bad.
Oh no. So
that's my point.
My actual problem with it, the writing was good.
Yeah.
The direction was not. The direction was okay. You could have had a more seasoned horror director.
It's Halloween, man. There's some of the shots that he got were dead on, almost mimic iconic.
Oh yeah, in the first half. And then there were some sparks that felt like a drama, not so much a horror.
Second act, I'll give you that.
Yeah, so
third act,
Mr. Green, next horror film you do, learn from your mistakes of this one.
It was just second act. Third act, there were some iconic shots.
But that was my point. It was not
first act, third act, amazing.
First act and third act up until the end were great.
Your beef with the ending is your beef with the ending.
Look,
I don't think that should take away from the third act.
I am just waiting for different news.
What news is that, man?
I'd end up spoiling it if I said it. I'm just waiting on different news.
Okay.
All I'm going to say is H2O.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. But I can understand your differences with it. And I felt them too. But you giving me sitting in an audience of people who were like, you could tell were starting to become, what is this edge of the seat thing that this guy up here is sitting on? And I'm going, yes, give me more.
Look, man, we've been lacking what this movie gave us. And I've been saying it. So I'm not going to completely crap on it.
That's the reason
I may not have liked the ending, and there may have been some unnecessary scenes.
A lot.
But a lot of unnecessary scenes. And there was some misplaced comedy. Danny McBride.
And some characters that I'm going...
There was an entire segment... And this is not even spoiling anything. There's an entire segment at his high school dance. I didn't need it.
I'm trying to think. Okay.
It added nothing.
Remind me, like, when we get done with this, there is something I was going to bring up, or at least I'll bring it up during this, when we actually talk about when we actually do a spoiler of this.
Spoiler warning. From here on.
No,
because I can't do this. I can't do this.
Yeah.
From this moment on, spoiler warning.
Why don't we, before you get into spoilers?
No.
No, seriously.
Okay.
What we do... We're going to wind this up. We're going to officially end the show.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're listening to this, go past the music that ends this. That is where the
credit scene.
That's where the spoilers will be. So let's go ahead and just end this. Let's end this the way we normally do.
You can go ahead and find us on Twitter at
You're
Brand
ready to
Reel Pundit and ANA Reel Pundit. You can also send us your questions, concerns, hate mail, anything really. At mailbag@thereelpundits.com.
And you can find us on Google Play, Spotify,
Apple, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Podbean. Download the Podbean app, find us on there.
Now that's the end of the show. That's the end of what we're saying is the end of the show. Go past the music.
Stay for the end credits.
Stay for the end credits. You know what? That's our new thing. Stay for the end credits. All right. And we'll do this like I normally do. Bye. All right, so the bye's over with.
Listen. I'm waiting on the ambulance driver, a cop, her boyfriend, somebody to be under that mask. They're going to find a charred cop. It's not going to be Michael, and it's going to be set up for Halloween Resurrection 2. And
I don't think we're going to get that.
No, we're going to get Halloween Resurrection. We're going to get Halloween 3, we're going to get Halloween 5. They literally just market it to new people, and they're going to give us sequels instead of a wrap up and a nice bow.
That was a perfect bow. I don't think that's what we're going to get, though.
They already are shopping the idea of sequels, looking for scripts. We're getting it. I already know we're getting it.
Nope, but not the way you're talking about it.
No, you're right. They might do Season of the Witch again.
No. We're going to go with We're going to go with number 4.
Curse?
This little girl, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're talking Laurie's original daughter.
Right.
You're talking Laurie's original daughter who was psychically connected. Okay?
Here's how it's going to happen. The thing. If we're going to go backwards from the end of the movie to the front of the movie, let's go ahead and do this.
All right.
End of the movie. They're in the back of the truck. They focused on the granddaughter's hand on the knife. Mm-hmm. She was the last person to touch it. If we're going to go into this whole...
Oh, yeah. And then
I think it's going to be her.
She's going to kill her mom at the beginning of the next film, just like the other.
No. It starts it off a totally different way.
No. Because then they're going to be psychically connected, and Michael's going to wake up again, and then they're going to go back into that stupid underground society of people protecting Michael Myers again, and I don't need that in my life.
Then why not
had that?
They can sit there and talk and shop about it. Doesn't mean they're going to actually make it.
I know. The Crow's an example of that, thank God. Now, the one thing I could say is the only gore scene I really appreciated was the boot scene.
I thought that was over the top for everything else we got.
I think
I was waiting for him to...
Nobody got stabbed or hung up on something. It was a
they did.
No, I'm saying it was a different kind of death for Michael Myers.
Compared to the jaw bust, the curb stomping scene that they had with the cash register.
Yeah.
The guy who was there and you just saw his jaw. I'm like, man, they're going... For the graphic parts, they're going new school, almost gore porn.
That's what I mean.
But you never saw it. My favorite homage. What was your favorite homage?
The Laurie outside the school, man.
Where she showed up out of nowhere?
She showed up like Michael did when she was in that same class. Michael standing outside the window, and then she looks again, disappears. Same thing.
Laurie Strode picked up all of Michael's tricks. When she fell out of the whole building, out of her own building.
Oh, yeah, she disappeared.
And you could see the actor did a great job of like, what the...
Yeah.
Because he looked...
She pulled Michael...
On Michael.
Yeah, and that was phenomenal.
And he picked up a weapon at that point. My favorite part was watching, even though the actor had no talking, his body language was dead on perfect because when he looked back down after looking in here, oh yeah, her daughter's in the basement somewhere. I'm going to get to that in a minute. I'm going to go, wait a minute. He turned around and was like, weapon. I need one because this woman is trying to kill me. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, thank you. Second favorite homage thing. My all-time favorite kill from the original got redone again with 10, 31, 18 because he stabbed that young kid straight through the wall. I was like, bravo. Mm-hmm. Bravo. Same kill done twice. Minus that, my biggest problem was the little kid's humor. It fit the scene. The cops...
No, the cops were my problem.
I was like, and then that scene went
on. You know when there's a killer on the loose and you're a cop, right? And killers are on the loose, you're just going to be joking about your lunch.
Yeah, that one was the only one that fell. And the timing of that tonally shifted everything.
And that could have very well been the actors.
It could also been just...
Tonally.
Just a tonal shift. They could have done it for a purpose. They could have gone, let's just bring you down just for a little bit before we get into the longest suspense scene I've seen in a movie in a long time. And I loved it. Plus, for once you see Laurie was ready. Her whole house was...
Yeah, but that stupid fucking panic room.
Dude.
I know, F-bomb. But this is at end credits.
Okay.
That stupid panic room. I'm sorry.
I loved it because it wasn't a panic room.
Gas and
it wasn't a panic room.
I know, it was a cage for Michael.
You know what?
Gas set him on fire.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine. But here's the problem with it. You destroyed the whole thing for me by the information that you told me. I was perfectly fine and ready to go. Put your finger here. Let me tie the bow. It's over. That's it. There's no... I'm fine with that. I watched the original 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, as my leisure. It has nothing to do with it. It's like a what if. I'm fine with that. If this is going to be the original Halloween is 1 and Halloween again is 2, that's the end of the story. Do not give me... There's no reason.
No, that's
there's
my
no
other
reason
problem.
to ever give any more.
Because I knew before I saw the film, I knew that I saw reports of them shopping for a sequel. So what that tells me is that they're already planning on a breaking box office.
Oh, yeah.
And it is.
Yeah, that's
so they're already planning that, which means they're like, okay, let's keep cashing this in. Which means that at some point, the nice little wrap up that I was hoping for was going to get undone because we go back to H2O and Resurrection.
Right.
I got to wrap up with H2O. I was fine with it.
I'm okay with this one. I like.
No.
I like to have. Wait.
Right, but H2O led me into Resurrection.
Yeah.
And that is why I blame H2O.
Okay.
H2O led us there. Which means if this leads us into another Resurrection, it's going to undo it. It gives that... because it.
You want to have something stupid for a second?
Go for it.
If... Let's say they go, all right, fine. We're gonna shop around. We're gonna do this again. Let's do exactly what they were trying to do the first time. Every Halloween story is supposed to be something different,
and that would be fine, as long as you give me a better version of Seasons of the Witch. Because you could remake that 20 times.
I think that would be in today's society. I think that would be
a better film.
It would be a better film.
I think you could pull it off with the
an
technology,
app or one of the the virtual. Augmented reality apps, and it hits people like that, I'd be fine with it. But give me exactly what the original Halloween story was. You finish this story, the next one, give me something that has nothing to do with Michael Myers. But the problem is they have to market it as, they have to explain this, of like, Halloween is not about Michael Myers. Halloween is about these stories that happen at Halloween. And then they can... That'll be perfect marketing for them, because that means every year at Halloween, instead of getting Paranormal Activity number 28...
And maybe that's what they're going to do, which is fine.
If they do it well,
because this was Halloween, and then you're going to do Halloween 2, and Halloween 2 is going to be.
It could be the reason why they just named it Halloween and never called it Halloween 2.
If they do that, I'm fine. If they give me another Michael Myers film, I'm gonna rage out.
I love Michael Myers. He's my favorite of the grouping. I know you're wearing a shirt of it today. He's my favorite, but
even he's not a slasher.
He's a suspense.
He's not a slasher killer. He's not a slasher character until number 2 and far. Basically, until number 4, really, he's when he becomes a slasher.
Right.
Oh, no, 2. That hospital. He basically massacred everybody at a hospital. So yeah, 2 he becomes a slasher character.
But the concept is, I think that the thing that's going on in Hollywood right now of, hey, your movie has done great. Let's make a sequel. Let's stop that. Like, I don't want to see a Get Out 2.
I don't either. Doesn't need it.
No, that movie is what it is. Now, give me a director's cut? Sure. Yeah. If you re-release it, fine. But do not give me another one. But you got a chance to do your spoiler. What else? What did you love about the movie?
I love the throwback, man. I love the feeling I got. Because it was such a slow-paced film. And that is what I loved. I loved it because the original was a slow-paced film. If you go back to Friday the 13th, the original was a slow-paced film.
Oh, yes.
You go back to A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original was a slow-paced film. The movies that built the horror genre were slow-paced, or not horror genre, but slasher genre, were slow-paced films that happened to have some death.
What do you think of Laurie? You think that she played 40 years later?
I think that it was really difficult because I watched H2O religiously. I watched it a bunch. So that's all I could think was she traded alcoholism for survivalism. That's what she did. She traded alcoholism and extreme paranoia to agoraphobia and survivalism.
And still drinking, because that little joke that she's like, "Mom, I thought you quit drinking." I loved the throwbacks.
Right? There were definitely some things, but I don't. It's because the whole time I was thinking, like, school dance reminded me of basement slumber party scene. You know, like unnecessary love story for the kids or grandkids. Like, these are things that reminded me. It just reminded me too much of. And
did that kid ever die?
I don't know.
That was like the only person that you were like, I hope he gets it, because he messed over.
Yeah, I don't think he did.
I was thinking that was what I wanted to bring up. I was like, he's the only character that you're going, I hope he dies. I don't think he did. And he didn't die.
Might be. Anybody listening, if you got it. Anyways, we're just talking your ear off now.
Yeah.
And the end credits are supposed to be short. So you guys go see it. Let us know what you think.
Go see it and holler at us on social media.
Do you agree with me? Do you agree with Alex? Oh, Reel Pundits rating.
Oh,
yeah, we
never even do that
show.
On the actual
we'll do
show.
it on here. So Reel Pundits rating. We're going to give it a 4.
We're going to give it a 4. You wanted to give it a 3.
I wanted to give it a 3.
I wanted to give it a 4. We were going to meet in the middle. I made the topic about the change of.
No, it was to be honest with you, it was only because they gave me everything I've been asking for in a horror.
And it's Laurie Strode. I'm sorry.
It was
for me.
It was not the completion I wanted, but it was the completion I deserved.
And it was a different variant. I'm down for.
It was not the completion I needed. It was the completion I deserved.
Were you gonna Batman this?
We Batmaned it. All right.
You're gonna Dark Knight it. All right. On that note, we're done.
Peace.
Peace. Bye.